My name is Janice Garner. The whole name is Janice Faye Littleton Adams Garner. Long name, isn't it? Been here a long time. When is my birthday? May the 20th. I'll be 49 again. Mine is to meet it. You meet it. You don't hide from it. You don't run away from it. You don't walk off. You don't pretend it didn't happen. All those things are just lack of interest, really. But if you really care, then you meet it. You do whatever it takes to do to start it and keep it going. And that's my advice. I think they need to see the parents and watch them and be able to watch them and see that they have it together. They care about each other. They care about their children. I think the best thing is doing, not telling, say, this is what you're supposed to do, or giving lectures or things like that. They're necessary sometimes, but mostly I think just living a good, healthy, normal life in front of them and showing them the love they have for them, for each other, for the Father, for everybody. Love. Love is the number one thing.
From Virginia, the office.
Oh,
This is both of us, so one all of one.
Probably conversation. I always have a conversation going, thinking through, sharing. I watch Mary, Donna, and John, and they have it. Really, really have it. They know how to share. They know when to talk, when to stop. They know when. It's just automatic, and it's beautiful to watch. It really is. Well, you feel like you've got your whole future ahead of you. You can plan whatever you want to, and if it doesn't really work out, you've still got plenty of time to plan something else. So you got a plan B and C. If you're smart, you have those. And I think that the idea that you've got, God's given you a life and a time. We don't know the time, but we're going to use it. We use it to the best of our ability. That makes me happy. I like to do that. I like to look back at the end of the day and say, you accomplished something. Maybe it wasn't much, maybe it was just somebody that you ran into that you hadn't seen in a long, long time, and you've wondered about them. That things like that are always make you feel good. Oh yeah, there's the advantages to being older. The things that you couldn't do when you were even an adult, but younger. So, and we look for them all the time too. Look for those hidden things that really didn't mean a whole lot, and yet they did. You know, so that was during the younger ages, though, that you did that.
Larry, hadn't seen it in a while.
Well, we've never seen one, so I really don't know. But I would say it was somebody who's caring and loving and not too hooked up on themselves, which so many people are, but caring about others around them. And I guess caring really would be the closest you could get to a perfect gentleman, somebody who really cares.
I think I like this.
No, I don't think you do.
If you're down to what?
Very long, John.
Never met one of those either.
So what would it
There is no
require?
such animal. Nobody's perfect. We all know that. But to be perfect, you have to be caring about other people. Not just yourself, not just things that you are interested in, but caring about the people around you that you love, and they know it. They know you care. They know that you got their back anytime they can come to you. And so I think that's still communication. Still communication. Be sure that you can talk and understand and help, and just be kind. Loyalty, mostly loyalty. You know that they can be trusted. You know you could tell them anything or come to them with any problem. And you won't be shunned or anything about anything you bring to the table. So a good friend is a good friend. And that's just a good name for it, because they're there when you need them. And that's wonderful. We that have had friends like that are very, very fortunate.
Everybody leaves.
I have mixed emotions. I have mixed emotions about it. Could be a good thing to know something about each other, and likes and dislikes, and if everybody was completely honest, it could be a good thing. Could be a tragedy. Could be, if it wasn't played out right, and anybody was not being honest, then that could spoil somebody's life. So I have mixed emotions about it. It could be good. It's like a lot of things in life. Could be good, but could be bad if misused. Well, there are a lot of things in my life that have been really, really interesting, and it's mostly meeting people, new people, but one thing comes in my mind now. I had a job one time, and you're not going to put all this down, I know, but I had a job with International Harvester, and I worked in their office, and there was a girl that worked with me. She was tall and blonde and very pretty girl, a real sweet girl. She was divorced and had a 6-year-old daughter. And so we were real close. And I tried to help her through some bad times, as if I knew what I was doing, but I pretended I did. And so she had never started dating again or anything. But the fellow that worked for Light, Gas, and Water, that read the gas meters, the gas meter was right outside the window of where she and I worked. And she got to see him. He was cute as he could be. And I could tell she really liked him. And he kept peeping like he's trying to see her without anybody knowing it. And so I knew he liked her too. So I decided I'd play matchmaker. Yeah. So I wrote a little note to the gas meter guy. And I said, I don't like flies and I don't like skeeters, but I sure like guys who read gas meters. Now, how I still remember that, I don't know. And I can't remember what I said 2 minutes ago. But
So you're a matchmaker.
Anyway, I put it out for him before he came. You should have seen the smile on his face when he saw it. She didn't know I did it, of course. Well, 3 months later, they were married. and Mary Will and I went to the wedding, and it was pretty neat. But anyway, I always felt good about that because that was a good marriage. But the bad part was, it was the music. There was no music, but there was a fella in there that sang. No music or anything, but he sang, and his voice cracked and cracked. And Mary and I, so stupid, silly, we both got so tickled we had to leave. Yeah, she and I had a lot of fun things we did. We were lucky. We were safe from a lot of things that we shouldn't have done. What makes me happy? Happy people around me. You know, I love happy people. And a lot of things make me happy, though. Not just people, just a lot of things. I can go out and hear a bird singing, and I had never heard that particular bird sing before. So I've got to find that bird so I can realize what kind it is. Is it red, blue, purple? Is it what I ever heard about before? I could have been a bird watcher. Well, it's not only the outside. Nobody is really beautiful just because they're outwardly beautiful. if they are, it doesn't last long. Not with anybody, okay. It's not a lasting thing at all. But if they're inside, they're caring, they're loving, they're gentle, they're all the things that we say love is, then yes, they can be beautiful even though they're not beautiful in our way of thinking, but they are. I have had friends I had one friend in church at one time that I said she was so ugly she was cute. And that was true. She was, on the outside, not pretty at all. But she was fun, and pretty soon you forgot about that. You just forgot the fact that she really wasn't a really attractive person. I think probably the most important thing I learned from mine was they left you alone. They let you think for yourself and make decisions, and only would you give them any kind of information about how they should do this or do that unless they ask for it. And that's what they did. And I didn't know they were doing that at the time. They probably didn't either. But anyway, I grew up making my own decisions about most everything. If it was a real cut and dried something that we had to, decide on, that was one thing. But just everyday living was easy. It shouldn't have been easy. The circumstances were not easy, but they made it easy, and they made it fun. And they had a rough time, and I don't know how they got through it, but they did. But they didn't let us know how sad they were. So I admire my parents always for their ability to be right. If you don't understand this right now, it's going through a blah. I think you know that I do have the blahs. Once in a while, I don't know exactly what the next word is or what the last one meant. But anyway, I just keep on talking. Well, we all loved holidays, and my parents, Christmas, New Year's, all of it. We always tried to do something fun. And I think probably Christmas Eve night was my favorite, where everybody was, before they went to bed, and Santa Claus was going to come, and everybody's excited, and sugar plums were all over the dining room table. It was a fun time, and my dad always read the story, not the ghost story, but just Santa Claus, story. And we all listened to it as if we'd never heard it before. And yet we had it memorized for years. But that was a time where all were together, and everybody's heart was light, and I think that was my favorite time of the Christmas holidays. My family, you just automatically do what they do, and it seems right. So that was it. That was all. My father wasn't a Christian, not until late in life. But my mother played the piano at churches and all over the place, and so it was a. But I never heard my father talking about Jesus or God or anything. He was a wonderful man. I loved him dearly, but none of that was ever brought up until after he had his experience where he would reach the gates of heaven. And he was so sure that that was all true that he convinced most of us that that was all true. Well, when he did come back, because nobody thought he was going to, he was overwhelmed about what had happened. He couldn't get it off his mind. He couldn't think about anything else. And my mother was real concerned about him and said, he's losing his mind. So they lived about 100 miles from me. And I said, bring him down this afternoon, pack some clothes, stay a few days, and bring him down this afternoon. So she did. And I had to call to Mary Donna and said, if you have a free afternoon, take my mother to a movie. She did. In fact, it was The Sound of Music was on. And that's what they saw. So I had it set up so that I could tape what he was saying, and nobody to disturb, nobody to interrupt or anything. So I explained to him, all right, you said you could not stand in front of a group of people and tell about this happening, but you can stand up after you've introduced the whole idea of it, the whole thing, on video. So I'm going to tape it, and you say it, tell me just like you. We're talking to somebody, but not to a machine. So we did it, and he got through it pretty hard, getting through it, but he got through it. So he started getting better after that. So, and people in different churches were asking him to come and speak. So he was going to different churches, not just his own. He was going to church. He became a Christian, got baptized, and was always a wonderful man, but even more wonderful. So, in fact, it was right before Christmas, and he was at a church, not his own, but a church. It's saying this is a tape of what happened. The whole idea of the tape was the fact that he couldn't tell it in front of a group of people. And evidently God knew that and said, tape it. And that's what we did. And the thing is that when he taped it, the words came out exactly the same way they had come to me when he had told me the first time. They same way to Mother. So Daddy wasn't the type to stick to the script. I mean, he would all have to say a little bit of dig here, a little something there, but this was perfect. Just, I mean, not as perfect as you can be. He would say it the same way every time he told it. So he really, really believed it. While he was supposedly telling them the story, but they're really hearing a tape, that's when he died. He was doing what Jesus told him to come back and do. And anyway, he was a good man. He and I had a lot of fun together. We played tricks on each other all our lives, from the time I was a little girl till I was long married lady. We were still playing tricks on each other, and we had fun. Well, I don't know if I'll have a butterfly or not, or be a butterfly or not, but I hope I am. I'd like to be a butterfly. But you know, I've always had this dream. People say they dream about falling, or they dream about flying, or this, that, and the other. I didn't dream about falling or flying. I dreamed about hovering. I'm not really flying. I'm just hovering over everybody. And that sounds real snotty, but that's what I like to think about. They can watch what's going on, who's doing what, who's in trouble, who's not, maybe something you could do. I love dreams about hovering. So that's one thing that I enjoy doing, and I think that there's somebody in this room who has also had those types of dreams. We discussed it quite in depth one time, that we both had the hovering dreams, and I really liked them. I love to have a dream about hovering. But butterflies, I hadn't had a dream about being a butterfly yet. But I'll put it on the books when I get it. I'm going to be a butterfly. What color? Well, it's basically blue, but it's got a lot of other colors in it to make it sparkle. Well, I've already kind of got that reputation. They, even here, different ones will say, "Oh, Janice Garner, I know about her. She's the funny one. Or she's always upbeat, or she's this, that, and other." So that's okay with me. I don't mind. I'm glad that I maybe put a smile on somebody's face rather than a frown. So that's probably what I would like people to think about me, a smile on their face when they think about me. Don't mess up. Don't mess things up. Life is too beautiful to mess it up. And even though it's hard, and believe me, I know, it's still beautiful. So I think God knew that I liked life, or He wouldn't have given me extra. So.
Oh, I know. Makes the water glisten pretty, though. Makes the water glisten pretty.
Here to
Understands
love
me.
and understand me, all the hard work stories they all hand me. Make my bed and turn the light on tonight, late tonight. Blackbird, bye bye.